Okay, this is going to be my last video today. I'm going to do a little ranting and rating. You're going to love it. It's going to be fun. I will maybe next week do my video on children and guns to the best of my ability. I have some advice I'd like to share. I will do a video on the rules and regulations of the home defense gun, most likely next week. And I may talk about, if I have time, I may talk about guns across state lines, buying guns across state line, shipping guns across state line, traveling with guns across state lines. I really don't know a lot about that topic. Every other sentence on that conversation is going to end with me saying, call your dealer or call the police department in that town. And I had a gentleman email me. He said he's moving from Florida to New York. He said, what do I do? I said, okay, contact a dealer in your new hometown or the police department in your new hometown and get instructions on how to transfer your guns. They do that, not me. So, but that's going to be coming up. This video, I decided to make it the last minute today. It's going to be a ranting and raving. Oh, by the way, the 1911, even though it's not ready to be fully reviewed yet, it will make cameo appearances in those videos. In the home defense video. Home defense gun video. Rules and shit. Okay. My ranting is going to be about the Brady Campaigns to ad. There's a new ad of the Brady Campaign that talks about high capacity magazines. And it made me sick to my fucking stomach. See, me, I take things personal sometimes. Doesn't mean I go crazy and hit somebody. It means that I take it very personal, you know. If you said all guineas are fucking pigs, I would take that personal. If you say we need to kill all Christians, I would take that personal. If you say all 5'9" white guys that are left-handed are assholes, I would be offended by that. I'm very, very sensitive to that shit. The Brady Campaign had a new video that showed someone shooting at a target, and the target came closer, and the target was a little girl, and then they flashed to be a mailman, an old man, this and that, blah, 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 blah. The thing was calling for the reinstatement of all high-capacity magazines in all 50 states. Now, from 1994 to 2004, no one, with the exception of law enforcement, could buy a magazine with more than 10 rounds. Okay? And in some states, that's still the case. The loophole is you can still buy a pre-ban magazine. The Brady Campaign is fighting for legislation that will close the loophole. That means two things. Number one, you cannot buy a pre-ban magazine at all. No, you cannot. 10 rounds means 10 rounds, all 50 states, forever. In addition to that, if you have a high-capacity magazine and you die, the executive of your state must surrender it to the police immediately, or they face felony prosecution. Now, let's assume you had a woman, her husband died, God forbid. On an emotional level, she has to deal with the loss of her partner. He might be the father of her kids, might be the father of her grandkids, grandfather of her grandkids, her partner, her housemate, you know, someone she loves and cares about. Now he's dead. That's the emotional part. She has to deal with that passing. The financial part, she has to make sure his funeral is paid for, make sure his will is executed, make sure his money is divided, make sure this, that, and the other thing. It's entirely possible she might not think, oh, wait a minute, I gotta go in this gun safe, and I gotta look at all those magazines. And if they got more than 10 rounds, I gotta bring it to the police department immediately. Are you gonna prosecute that woman? Also, what if it's a child? Let's say, for argument's sake, I died. God forbid. God forbid. I died and I have no children. In addition to my mother, my parents having to deal with the traumatic loss of a child, don't forget, your child dying before you is the most traumatic thing in the world. It is just so horrible. I've seen parents bury their children, and I've never seen anybody cry that much in my life. Parents lose children. Doesn't matter if your child is 1 or 50. If you lose a child, it's devastating for you. And are you, who lost a child, gonna say to yourself, you know what, I gotta go look at my kids' guns, I have an adult son, he died. I gotta look at his guns, make sure there's no What the fuck is wrong with people these fucking days? And you know what? There are politicians in this country, there are prosecutors, Republican and Democrat, that would prosecute a mother that didn't turn in her son's pre-banned magazine on a certain date. Her son died. She waited 6 months to open his safe, found a fucking magazine in there. Oh God, I gotta bring it to have it destroyed. They would prosecute her for that. They would. There are a lot of politicians that would do that shit. But it's just horrible because you're saying anybody that has an 11-round magazine or higher is a fucking killer. Okay? And it just hurts me. It really does hurt me because I know a lot of people that have high-capacity magazines, myself being one of them. They might be cops. They might have pre-ban magazines because they bought them before the ban or because they bought them on the aftermarket after the ban like I did. They might live in states where there are no laws about magazine capacity. You know how many of those fucking people went on a killing spree and killed a lot of people? That number. That's the number. Also, you always got to talk about people are hypocrites. Okay? The world's greatest actor, the world's greatest Shakespearean actor, Sylvester Stallone. 1 second. Okay. Sylvester Stallone is the world's greatest Shakespearean actor. He allegedly went to a Brady rally. He was carrying a concealed handgun. But I thought that guns were bad, and I thought that it was, only killers have guns, and why do we need guns? I thought guns were all bad. And get this, if the report is correct, he was carrying a high-capacity magazine. Understand this. A killer will get a high-capacity magazine. They go to the street, they buy whatever the fuck they want. They don't care about the law. They don't. But it's so horrible because let's assume this, okay? Let's assume that someone had... We had a woman up the line in a place called Poughkeepsie. I have family up there. This woman, to say that she was drunk was an understatement. They made national headlines, this car accident. She was drunk beyond comprehension. She had a car with 3 men from my hometown in it. She killed a total of 9 people, including herself, children in the car, and the men from my hometown. Okay? Now, the van she was driving, I think, an SUV, I forget the fucking car. But let's assume this. That woman killed 9 people. That woman was just as dangerous as Jared Loughner. Jared Loughner's weapon of choice was a gun. Her weapon of choice was a car. Did she do it deliberately? I don't think so. But she was so fucking drunk and stoned and just fucked up beyond belief, and it was proven that she was drunk. So I'm not blabbing about my ass. That she, with the car, was more dangerous. Now understand this. A drunk with a car is more dangerous than a maniac with a handgun. Okay? That I will tell you right now. She killed like 9 people, I think it was. She killed 9 people. Now let's assume that someone made a campaign about the car she drove. Because don't forget, Loughner had a 33-round magazine for his Glock 19. So all high-capacity magazines are for killers and you're a mass murderer. Okay, fine. Let's assume that someone had a commercial. And on the commercial, they talk about the car she was driving. And they say, tell the federal government to ban this car immediately because only killers drive the car. Okay? Let's assume that someone... I keep picking my fucking ear. I look like a fucking gamon. Let's assume that someone had a sports car, a Lamborghini. And they got fucking wasted beyond belief. They just got drunk as a motherfucker. And they went out and they crashed that car and they killed 6 people. Would the federal government outlaw that car? Or even entertain the idea? Would the federal government, would any organization, even MAD, even Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers don't want to ban cars, they want to ban drunks. Would Mothers Against Drunk Drivers have a fucking commercial that shows a guy driving that car killing people? It's sad, it really is sad. And I take it personal. Because I myself am a gun owner, and I myself am a high capacity magazine owner. And I feel like I'm insulted. I feel like you call me a fucking killer, and it hurts my feelings. And I literally went onto my Facebook page, and I told all my friends, if you are members of the Brady Campaign, remove me from friends immediately and never talk to me ever again. And I literally fucking said that. I said that to guys that I had known 12, 15 years. I said, if you're a member of the Brady Campaign, delete. I don't want to talk to you ever again. Literally, ever again. Granted, there are criminals that get guns through loopholes, and granted, the loopholes need to be secured sometimes. Okay, we do have a couple of bumps and road need to be paved. And Loftus should have never got a gun because he was a fucking lunatic. But, well, you know what? The Brady Campaign, they're just fucking sickening anyway. Hold on a minute. Okay, I got time. My last thought. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I watched a documentary on HBO. It's called Gunfight. I thought it was going to be a gun debate about both sides. And I was like, I'll watch this. It was the poster child for the Brady Campaign. They didn't say one bad thing about the NRA. I mean, they didn't say one good thing about the NRA. They didn't say one bad thing about gun owners. One bad thing about the Brady Campaign. Sorry, my brain is fucked up. And one asshole literally said that Tim McVeigh was acting on behalf of gun owners. Tim McVeigh blew up the Oklahoma City building. He was mad at the ATF because he didn't like the way they treated David Koresh. And David Koresh was an illegal gun owner. He was converting guns to fully automatic illegally. He was buying handguns, hand grenades illegally. He doesn't represent me. Tim McVeigh got mad about that. So Tim McVeigh got a van, filled it full of explosives, blew up the building, killed a whole lot of innocent people. He killed gun owners, he killed non-gun owners, he killed children, he killed black people, white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, citizens, law enforcement. He didn't discriminate. Muslims, Jews, Christians, he just killed anybody. He didn't discriminate. He literally called the children collateral damage. Some motherfucker on that documentary said that Tim McVeigh, on behalf of all gun owners, or whatever the exact wording was, blew up the Oklahoma City building in support of gun ownership. So now gun owners are terrorists too. But you know what? Omri Guild said to me, he didn't say it to me, he said it in a video, don't argue with an idiot. He was right. NRA's been insensitive. NRA said nasty shit. NRA's done nasty things. I'm not gonna lie. But the Brady Campaign crossed the line. That commercial with the shooting slowing the little girl, that crossed the fucking line. Understand this. George Washington didn't talk to the British. He shot them. Okay? SEAL Team 6. God bless their souls. SEAL Team 6. They didn't beat Osama bin Laden to death with a gun-free zone sign. They shot that motherfucker in the head. Okay? They shot that motherfucker in the head. Remember that. Ever watch Tales of the Gun? When the credits roll? Tales of the Gun, it's on History Channel International every other day at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. They have different episodes. The beginning of every episode has a scroll up, kind of like Star Wars, only it's not as glamorous. The gun has served hero and villain alike. It's not the tool, it's the guy behind the tool. Okay? Number one cause of death in this country, car accidents. Number one cause of car accidents, alcohol. Guns aren't even in the top 10. They're not. Neither are knives. Neither are baseball bats. Neither are hand grenades. Oh, by the way, I don't approve of citizen hand grenade ownership. I don't think a citizen needs a hand grenade. That's my opinion.